Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. This song has almost as many F-bombs as Rage Against the Machine's epic anger vehicle, Killing in the Name. But this is Tool. So this is going to be a much more progressive music presentation of a similar idea. So I'm really excited to get into it and analyze how that's constructed. Let's get to it. Oh.
Some say the end is near. Some say we'll see Armageddon soon. Certainly hope we will. I sure could use a vacation from this bullshit. 3-ring circus sideshow. Preacher in this homeless fucking hole we call it.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. I feel how heavy and angry it feels like this next section gets. Maybe that's a chorus? Maybe? I don't know if Tool really has choruses. We're going to come back to the beginning and talk about these pieces as they go by. First piece, just this like, it's not even a sung sound. It's a vocalization, but it's not even a sung sound that Maynard uses to actually set up rhythm. So cool. It somehow feels indigenous, tribal to me right there. That's fascinating. That's such a good guitar. I like the tone of the guitar here because it is so aggressive. It's got a lot of distortion in the edge of it. It's edgy. I like the way it dives in unapologetically and leaves us unapologetically too. So it's a very, very short little riff that just repeats. It feels jagged. And then Danny Carey, the god, the octopus.
Some say the end is near. Some say we'll see Armageddon soon. Certainly hope we will.
So, sorry, Adam Jones on guitar, Justin Chancellor on bass. Adam Jones, love that riff that he put in there. And then Justin Chancellor, I like the bass that comes in. It's so creative. It's just, I really love the way that Tool's music feels so thoughtful. It's designed with, it feels like it's been considered for a long time. It's marinated for a really long time. It has a lot of logic that has been put together, yet it is fueled by emotion. I think that's an amazing combination.
Certainly hope we will. I sure could use a vacation from this bullshit. 3-ring circus sideshow.
I just pause for a bit. I know. You guys are like, what? She keeps stopping it. These swells that Maynard is doing, that actually can be really difficult to control vocally. He's doing a very rapid swell from a quiet dynamic to a much louder dynamic. When you do that, it requires a lot more breath pressure to build up underneath the vocal folds. But when that breath pressure builds, it also can create like a little bit of bowing and extra tension there that makes the voice automatically want to go higher in pitch. So one of the big exercises that professional singers should, I think, I mean, there's some that are just extremely talented, but one of the things that I think professional singers at the top level should be doing, and those who want to reach that level, is this messa di voce exercise where you start really quiet, you get loud, and then you get really quiet, all on the same pitch, and try to maintain a steadiness in the tone as well. It's difficult to do, and you can do it very quickly, or you can do it over a very long time. It it is impressive to me when I hear a swell happen that quickly with that much emotion that doesn't just totally go off pitch.
Shit, three, ring, circus.
I love the slide down too. So I confess, I've heard this song before. I've never done an analysis of it, okay, but I have heard it more than a lot of songs I've done on the channel. And this is because my husband, Kirk, is a massive Tool fan. He even took me to a Tool concert in Phoenix years ago, like before I even had started this channel. And I remember at that concert, there were two things that stuck out to me, like majorly stuck out. One is that Maynard was often not front center in a spotlight. He was active on stage often, but he was often in the background. So he wasn't, it felt like he was saying, don't just watch me. I really want you to focus on all of these musicians together. We all create the sound of Tool, which I thought was really awesome. It shows a lot of humility, a lot of respect for the band members. Well, I think that singers are often a good focus point because of the lyrics and the message that are coming through. People often don't give enough attention to other band members. So just shout out to Maynard for that decision. I think that's really respectable. And then the other thing that stuck out, I was blown away by, was Danny Carey on the drums. I did not think about drums in the same way as I did before that Tool concert. It just changed my entire perception of them. I heard so much more melodic content even coming from the drums. The grooves were different. It felt like the drums set almost the entire like the world that each song was set in felt primarily established by the drums. I can't hear a song today in the same way as I did before hearing Danny Carey in a Tool concert live. I listen to the drums and I listen to all the pieces of them because of what he does. So I have so much respect for him. I love the way that the drums are just explosive in this, and yet they have so much intricacy at the same time. Okay, I'll get more detailed, I swear. We're gonna go back for a little bit and then get into this heavy part. Oh, that's the heavy part. Let's go back a little more for that transition. Like those toms, it's so fascinating. I love the guitar drive here too. Ooh, really cool swells in there. Wow. That was a freaking incredible line from Maynard. Not only are the lyrics just really amazing there, but the way that they're delivered, as it's like as if it's seething under his breath the entire time. When you think about that breath pressure I was talking about earlier and how that's so essential for creating pitch, he has a way of singing that feels like it's almost hushed, yet it feels like it's bursting with energy the whole time. And he's able to keep his pitch and tone so steady at the same time. It's so controlled, yet sounds at any moment like it's about to lose control. Like it's a fascinating walking of a line. Wow. I and the just listen to how little breath he actually takes for this line. Back here, a little further. There you go. That whole bit. One breath, seething, but controlled seething, all in one breath. And I love the messaging here, essentially, of all of these things that are superfluous that people are so worried about when right, we've got this idea of Arizona Bay. I love Arizona, by the way. Arizona is an amazing state, has great wine from Maynard's vineyards, but also I really like Arizona. It's a pretty awesome place. I live in Tucson, side note. Tucson is a particularly amazing city. And so this idea of Arizona Bay, I feel like, okay, cool, Arizona's safe. But then I think in my head, oh no, California. I really like California too. I lived there before I moved to Arizona. All that is to say, I think that there's a very serious point here of Tool expressing this incredible frustration with society that we're focused on such stupid stuff sometimes. Not all the time, but often we're focused on just really dumb things and we're missing the big picture. That there are really big problems in the world and people just don't really care about what's important. I can understand the seething anger that would build as you see people talking about their hairpiece when this thing that is life or death to you is being ignored. And I think that's where the anger for this entire song comes from. And I think that anger is in Maynard's voice. It's captured there perfectly as this bubbling, seething here in this part. Like it's about to just erupt. Beautiful. I think it's incredible how there's so much ebbing and flowing in this song already. And it reminds me of that ebbing and flowing of anger that just bursts forth and then is held back and then you can't hold it anymore and it goes just extends. Let's keep going for now. I'm really curious. I heard that the unvocalized vocalization essentially, or unphonated, that just happened, and I want to see where it goes. Sounds like chanting. Wow, it really introduced some fascinating rhythmic elements there at the end too, almost as if that vocalization was in Danny Carey's drum kit. Oh, that's cool.
Some say a comet will fall from the sky, followed by meteor showers and tidal waves.
Just a fun, slightly disturbing note here. We're getting this feeling of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That can be divided in different ways into time signatures, but usually it's going to have an 8 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when we have that kind of feeling, it's often associated with boats. So, so if what's happened here is we have all kinds of global warming and the oceans have risen and now we have Arizona Bay. I think we very purposely have been put into a time signature that denotes waves or rowing of a boat or the swaying back and forth on water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's disturbing.
Showers and tidal waves, followed by fault lines that cannot sit still, followed by millions of dumbfounded dipshits, and some say the end is near. Some say we'll see Armageddon soon. Certainly hope we will. I sure could use a vacation from this stupid shit. Silly shit.
Wow, the way that the drums there, they bring in the Armageddon essentially that he's talking about in the song. It feels like it's heralding this terrible thing. And it's just building up a ton of anxiety really in my stomach, but it feels like it crawls up my spine. I love the sensation that the drums give me in that section, and that it's juxtaposed in a fascinating way, really, by Maynard's voice, because Maynard gets to a whisper in this section. This is one of the wonderful things about modern technology. This sort of setup would not work if we had it even 100 years ago. And that's because we just wouldn't have a microphone to get the whisper projected past the drums. The drums are so much louder than a whisper a person can make. So one of the beauties of our civilization now is that we have microphones that can have that incredible intense whisper and get that out along with the drums, so you get both sounds at the same time. It's just an incredible war bringing in the drums matched by intensity in the whisper.
Some say the end is near. Some say we'll see Armageddon soon. Certainly hope we will. I sure could use a vacation from this.
He's so mad.
Silly shit. Stupid shit. One great big festering neon distraction. I've a suggestion to keep you all occupied. Learn to swell. Learn to swell. Learn to swell. Mom's gonna fix it all soon.
I have this image, which is kind of wild. I want to see what y'all think of it. I often think about thoughtfulness in music and how carefully crafted something was versus sometimes incredible music that just comes out of spontaneity and brilliance that maybe happens in one night. Just one mind goes insane and ekes out this creation that is complete, brilliant human expression. When I think about the kind of music that takes a really long time to craft, one of the first things I think about is Tool, but there are tons of classical composers that did this as well. And I think about the process that went into that and how people thought so much about the music, how they lingered on it, let it simmer for a long time. And it makes me think of like a Buddha underneath a tree, just like sitting there thinking about the meaning of life, the meaning of the music. And most of the time, I feel that very thought-driven instead of super emotion-driven music, music that is crafted with the mind, I feel that it gets a sort of zen involved, where there's a calmness and a sort of balanced nature to it. But Tool, with all of the zen that gets there, I get elements of zen from Tool, but it's this fascinating difference where I feel like it's not just a Buddha, it's like a fire breathing Buddha, where you have this person underneath a tree sitting there zenning about everything, and then all of a sudden there is an allowance and really an embrace of the frustration and the anger and the scream of just frustration with society rips forth, and then it goes back to a zen moment. I think it's such a contradiction in some ways of how thoughtful the music is and how much more I'd expect it to be centered, and instead of just being calm zen, we have a burst of emotion. Again, designed with logic, but fueled with emotion. It is a brilliant combination. It's scintillating. Like, do you get that? Like, there is this moment of meditation here.
One great big festering neon distraction.
And you hear him and you think, oh my gosh, this person is going to tear a new one in society. Learn to swim. Like, I feel some Rage Against the Machine boiled in here right now. Side note, if I remember correctly, I think that Maynard was actually considered for Rage Against the Machine at one point. I mean, I think that was before Rage Against the Machine's real sound had been established. I remember there was a connection there that I read about. Let's expand on that in the live premiere chat, because I think it'd be really fascinating to imagine what would Rage Against the Machine sound like with Maynard's voice, and what if we had a lot more rapping in Tool? Like, what? Isn't that just wild to think about? Okay, we'll keep going.
Mom's gonna fix it all soon. Mom's coming round to put it back the way it ought to be.
Wow. Yeah. I love the guitar here. Ooh. I know that Learn to Swim isn't an F-bomb, but it to me feels like the ultimate FU in this song. They found a better way than cursing to express that emotion. Like, every time I hear it, I think, oh, wow. That's scary. It's scary. I love the way that crescendoed there.
Fuck all these gun-toting hip gangster wannabes. Yeah, fuck retro anything, fuck your tattoos. Fuck all you junkies and fuck your short memory.
If you are a Tool fanatic and you have yet to listen to this in great headphones, please do. It is stunning to hear so many details. I love the way that they've placed the voices throughout here, especially. There's this feeling essentially of waves that are happening. Again, heard this in passing. I never understood this. It feels like so much of the song is constructed around this idea of water and waves, which makes a lot of sense. The Learn to Swims, they'll kind of like go out to sea and then whoosh back in, almost like debris from the ocean as the tide is coming in and out. It's gut. It twists my gut.
fuck retro, anything, fuck your tattoos. Fuck all you junkies and fuck your short memory. Yeah, fuck smiley gladiols with hidden agendas. Fuck these dysfunctional, insecure actresses.
It was a great example where the instrument there really was in front of Maynard's voice in the mix. I think they're very daring in their mixes. They'll have instruments go in front of his voice, meaning that they're more stage center, that they're louder than his voice. But he has so much seething, anger, and really focus on his tone quality to help it cut through with the words still. Even if it's not as easy to understand, you can still find it.
Yeah, fuck smiley gladiols with hidden agendas. Fuck these dysfunctional, insecure actresses. I'm praying for tidal wave. I wanna see the ground give way. I wanna watch it all go down. Mom, please flush it all away. I wanna see it go riding down.
Wow.
I wanna watch it go riding.
This song, I have to confess, I simultaneously hate it and love it at the same time. I think the enormous amount of seething in the entire song and the construction of it, just the expression is incredible. I also really love humans. And while I know that the band isn't actually saying, let's wash the world away and all of these idiots that don't really care about the things that are important, they could just, do without them, is what some of that messaging is. I also, gosh, it's just like I really want unity. I really want people to come together and be kind to each other. But it's true, sometimes I understand that kindness doesn't actually bring people together. I think in our community on the Charismatic Voice, we do center around positivity and lifting each other up. And that's because we have amazing people that are continually holding up that value. I have to thank each and every one of you who brings your positivity and you insist that our community continues to be a positive place. It's one of the happiest, most supportive places I've ever seen on the internet, and I'm honored to call it my community. It's really beautiful, all you. Okay, we're gonna go back a little bit.
I'm praying for tidal wave.
This sounds so peaceful. At the same time, it's like a horrendous message.
Watch it all go down. Mom, please flush it all away. I wanna see it go riding down. I wanna watch it go riding. Watch you flush it all away. Yeah, trying to bring it down again. Yeah, don't just come in after me. Try and read between the lines.
It's like a precursor to some blast beats, or maybe that is actually blast beats in there that I'm more familiar with really from deathcore music. That's fascinating. A side note, if you're into lots of harsh, gritty vocal sounds, like Maynard does some incredible screams himself, and you're a nerd, a science lover like me, I invite you to check out our vocal research campaign. We are crowdfunding some vocal research for science, also just to understand how some of these incredible expressions are made in a healthy way. Break some misconceptions. You can make gritty, awful sounds without killing your voice. It is possible. And it's also really good for your cleans if done the right way. So enough on that. I'll post some stuff about it in the About section if you're interested. Let's keep going here. I was going back to catch some of those blast beats.
Flush it all away.
We're about to land, I think.
Yeah, trying to bring it down again.
That's cool. Danny feels so much texture.
Yeah, don't just call me pessimist. Try and read between the lines. Yeah, I can't imagine why you wouldn't welcome any change, my friend. I wanna see it come down, bring it down, suck it down, flush it down.
Whoa. Is that Maynard growling layered on top of guitars? Wow. So this kind of sound that's exactly the kind of sound that we're studying in this research. Been very deliberate about going after this for years and years and years. I've self-funded it for years and years, and now that we're expanding the study to include a lot more professional singers to understand how they make these kinds of sounds sustainably for long careers, we have to go to larger audiences. This growl that he's creating, right? I'm not sure where he's creating it in his vocal tract, actually. That's probably because we just don't have a lot of research. There's no broad research study out there that tells us this information. There's none. There's this window of opportunity now that has never existed before where we can actually study this. That's this brilliant, essentially a relationship that I've built with the University of Utah's research team and Charismatic Voice together. We've started to venture into this new frontier in vocal research that means we're looking into sounds like growls or even just grit or gravel that we'll hear with a clean sound, like a Louis Armstrong kind of sound. And we're trying to understand the anatomy that's involved, that's above the true vocal folds. I don't know what part Maynard is using here, but it sounds really cool. And I love the idea of making this kind of vocal expression more readily available to anybody who is learning how to sing or wants to add this to their toolbox. I also love the idea of studying how this kind of sound affects your body, because music therapy is a very real, very, very real, not like a frou-frou kind of area, but music therapy is something that can help reduce dementia and Alzheimer's. It definitely helps reduce cognitive decline. It can actually help your heart. There are very solid studies saying that it improves heart function. So what music therapy could come out of understanding these kinds of primal growls and grunts? We don't know because we've barely dipped our toe in those waters. Those waters. Oh gosh, sorry. I made a water joke in the middle of a song that is all about waves and tidal waves and sweeping away half of the world. Let's go back and appreciate his growls all up until the end.
Come down, bring it down, suck it down, flush it down.
I feel like that's mixed. I hear a couple different sources. Ooh, that's a really cool groove at the end. Woo. I think that a growl is an excellent expression of the seething anger that I hear in the singing throughout. I love that that was worked into the overall expression. And I just want to keep analyzing Tool. I love the way that these songs are constructed, and I love the accomplishments of every musician that's contributing. If you want to see some more Tool analysis, check out this playlist over here. And may you fall more in love with music every day.